When good men and women do bold things that lead to a better nation, to a better Congress, I find it my duty to come to their defense when they are attacked. Of course, I'm talking about this gang of 8 congressmen and women that ousted Speaker McCarthy because Speaker McCarthy wasn't living up to his promises. Well, what is going on in Washington now is absolutely disgusting. The behavior of the elitist, of the ruling class in Washington, is disgusting to me to watch it unfold. See, they don't like when their leader is slayed. And when their leader is slayed, the swamp creatures apparently rise up and they have sharp fangs and they start to bite. See, we are about to expose these ruling class of elites right now for the despicable human beings that they actually are. I want you to take a look at this soundbite. This is a former Pence advisor who is going after Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a guy who doesn't need me to defend him. But I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder to him and offer my defense, because what they are throwing at Gaetz now for simply doing what he felt was in the best interest of a country, what I felt is in the best interest of this country, and what most of you felt was in the best interest of this country, ousting Speaker McCarthy. I want you to listen to the garbage that they are throwing at Matt Gaetz.
I think that what's concerning is we really are $33 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
We do have a border crisis.
100%.
There's a lot of issues that need to be solved.
Yes.
But the people who were masquerading as fiscal conservatives really aren't, Jake. I mean, Matt Gaetz, to say he came here as a fiscal crusader, it's more likely he came here for the teenage interns on Capitol Hill, to be honest. Look, he's voted for continuing resolutions. He's voted for omnibus bills. He voted for trillions of dollars in COVID spending. Even this year, he put forward an earmark. And yet he's presented himself as, I'm doing this for the fiscal benefit of the country.
He makes a U-turn joke. Quite frankly, it's defamatory. You know, Matt Gaetz is a public figure, so he's got no defense when people hurl arrows at him like this. It gets even worse, though, because a sitting United States senator, a guy I actually have some respect for up until now, Markwayne Mullin, the senator from Oklahoma, decides to go down this path. It's not becoming of where our government officials should be. Listen.
This is a guy that the media didn't give a time of day to after he was accused of sleeping with an underage girl. And there's a reason why no one in the conference came and defended him, because we had all seen the videos he was showing on the House floor that all of us had walked away of the girls that he had slept with. He'd brag about how he would crush ED medicine and chase it with an energy drink so he could go all night.
I can't listen to him. Take him off. Take him off the screen. Enough of that. You know, he wants to say the media all turned their back. When I was over at that other network, I was the only guy that was interviewing Matt Gaetz. Why? Because I knew all the allegations were bullcorn. Okay? They knew it too. The investigations, Matt Gaetz was cleared in all of those things. And he wants to bring that up now. That is mudslinging beyond belief. And Markwayne Mullin, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why? Because your big boss, man, has been ousted. McCarthy, he wasn't even in the United States Senate. What are you going to do if, God forbid, Mitch McConnell's ousted next? We ought to be focused on the Senate as well. I thought individual ideas meant something in America. I thought Republicans respected individual ideas and free thinkers and critical thinkers. Why are they piling on like this? Because they know their power is threatened now. See, the establishment in Washington sees the ouster of McCarthy as a threat to business as usual, just as they saw it as a threat when President Trump burst onto the scene. See, they like business as usual because it makes them all rich and it makes them all powerful. But now things are changing. Fox News even sees it.
Are you happy following Matt Gaetz? Is that your leader?
I'm not following Matt Gaetz. I made my own decision. I didn't ask Matt.
But if Matt Gaetz didn't challenge, you weren't going to challenge.
Do what?
If Matt Gaetz didn't stand up, you weren't going to challenge. You know that.
I believe I would have.
Oh, come on. Please. You were praying about it 1 minute. The next minute you're going to lead an insurgency?
So you don't think that praying about it's important? Is that what you're saying?
One minute you're praying about how you're going to vote with Matt Gaetz. And the next minute you're going to lead an insurgency?
What is Brian Kilmeade up to? So that's Tim Burchett, one of the other 8 that voted to oust McCarthy. What is Brian Kilmeade doing? These are patriots who believe in fiscal responsibility, who believe that there is a rule of order in the United States Congress that should be followed for the betterment of this country. Why are you attacking a guy who made a vote that you disagree with in our own party? Now, I get you want to attack Democrats off of principled votes that go totally against where we stand as a party. But when you're attacking your own, especially someone who's doing the best for this country, I don't know why. So now do you know they are talking about expelling these members? Not just from the caucus. Some of them are talking about expelling them from Congress. There's no way they could do that. It'd be unconstitutional. And by the way, all they were doing was following the rules. So as Brian Kilmeade says, oh, they were following Matt Gaetz, enemy number 1, but here's what they say about enemy number 2 through 7. Watch.
Some of them were useful idiots in this crusade on Matt Gaetz's part. Unfortunately, these 8 individuals torpedoed the conference, took out our best player on the field, if you will, and created a constitutional crisis.
A constitutional crisis? What? Because you have to do your job now and pick another speaker? Are you nuts? Tell me one thing that Speaker McCarthy did that worked in Washington where Republicans had the upper hand. And don't tell me this debt ceiling deal. We don't have a debt ceiling right now. There's been no cut in spending. There was no unification of our party that controls Congress right now. All he had to do was live up to his promises. It would have been so easy. And now they come out and say a constitutional crisis. You guys take yourself way too seriously. You know that? Get down to the business of taking care of this country and not taking care of your pocketbooks and your power.